Hello everyone, welcome to Office Sada 24/7. My name is Niharika Walia Bhatnagar and I am with you with the area of accounting and financial management for bankers. Today we'll be talking about the next level of this particular topic, and the particular topic today I'm going to take up exclusively the area of direct as well as indirect tax. Nothing else but only the taxes. Okay, so let's talk about the taxes today. In this case, slowly and steadily, I'll move towards the area of more of GST as well as more of income tax. As in the beginning, I started with the area of more of costing. So it's gonna be a balanced area where you'll be learning about all these things all together. Okay, so let's talk about it in detail. Which of the following can be corrected while processing the return under section 143(1)? Any arithmetical error in the return, any mistake in the return, or any error of principle in the return of income, or any claim by the taxpayer which is against the law. When we talk about this, how do we say this? That ultimately what happens is, in terms of 143(1), 143(1) seriously talks about only and only arithmetical errors. It doesn't talk about anything else but just the arithmetical errors. So the correct answer is the arithmetical errors in the return. For example, somewhere you were supposed to put 0 and there is NA right now, you forgot to put a 0 there, or in any case there are some errors related to the area of filling up a particular area but you haven't filled that area. These are the basic errors which normally the 143(1) talks about. It doesn't talk about something which is a little serious to talk about. Okay, so the basic things. Next point. Dividend from the company which is engaged in agriculture activities is agriculture income, business income, or partly agriculture income, or none of the above. Now this is a trick question, pata hai? Why do I say it's a trick question? When we talk about the dividend from a company, now the dividend received is a part of the other sources head. In terms of income tax, we have 5 heads. Number 1, salary. Number 2, house property. Number 3, capital gains. That is, number 3 is profits and gains from business and profession. That is PGBP. Next is cap. Last is other sources. Salary talks about only receiving the salary. House property talks about the money that you receive from your house property. Profits and gains from business and profession, or PGBP, talks about the profits that you are making from your business. CG talks about selling your assets of the business, and other sources talks about the area of what you are left with. Okay, that is OS. So in this case, the correct answer is none of the above, as dividend is basically other sources. Rest everything is a part of this. Dividend from a company which is engaged in agriculture activities would be considered here as none of the above, because it is neither agriculture income nor business. Next, expenditure in respect of winnings from the card games is deductible, not deductible, deductible if the conditions are satisfied, or none of the above. When we talk about the expenditure, now what do you mean by the term expenditure? Expenditure means the expenses you are incurring. For example, I put my money in some card games. So basically, the expenses that I made while I tried to earn income through the card games, this is basically not allowed. In terms of lottery, winnings from card games, this is taxable at the rate of flat 30% in terms of TDS there. Na? The deductibility of TDS is at flat 30%, and there is nothing allowed in terms of the expenses. In terms of both lottery as well as card games. Next point, which of the following taxes have been subsumed in GST? CST, Central Excise Duty, VAT, or all of the above? See, this is the first, this is actually the first question that we talk about in terms of the area of the accounting there, right? When we talk about this, Elena, which of the following taxes have been subsumed? When GST was created, now GST had subsumed many of the taxes, and that included many taxes that relate to the area of GST. When came, it subsumed various indirect taxes that included service tax, that included excise duty, sales tax, VAT. All these things were actually completely dissolved because there were multiple taxes and they were causing cascading effect. Cascading effect means tax on tax. Whatever you are paying in terms of tax, you had to pay more tax on it, which was definitely not worth it, right? Because already we were burdened with taxes, the inflation had already hit us badly, and then again you have to pay tax on tax, which is definitely not worth it. So when we talk about the subsuming of these taxes, it can be called all of the above. Next, on the petroleum, crude, high speed diesel, motor spirit, natural gas, as well as aviation turbine fuel. If we talk about all of these things, GST is not levied at all. GST will be levied from a notified date on the recommendations of the GST Council. GST is levied but exempt or none of the above. What would be the correct answer, everyone? What would be the correct answer in this case? Basically, now these things are currently not into the GST taxability right now, but they will soon be introduced. That is B. GST will be levied from the date to be notified as per the recommendations of the GST Council. Specified here, but later on they will become a part of this entire area. Okay? Next question. I told you today's questions are exclusively related to the area of GST altogether. Okay? More or less taxation is there. Which of the following activity is outside the scope of supply and not taxable under GST? Services by the employee to employer in the course of or in relation to their employment, service of funeral, then actionable claims, and then lottery, betting, and gambling, as well as all of the above. There are certain things which are outside the scope of the GST itself, and among them, I can say there are many of these things which are not a part of it. See, the point is, if we talk about the services of funeral, there is no GST on that. Actionable claims and then lottery, they are not a part of it. At the same time, if we talk about the services by an employee to the employer, if we talk about that part, even now employer-employee relationship is not a part of GST. Na? So in this case, the correct answer will be all of the above. They are none of them is a part of GST taxability. All of them are outside that particular portion. Aggregate turnover. I think let's just make this question in a better way. It says aggregate turnover as per Goods and Service Tax Act 2017. Okay. Then if I talk about the GST, there taxability is related to the taxable supplies, exempt supplies, exports, or all of the above. Aggregate turnover, when we are trying to find out the aggregate turnover, normally it's like for businesses it's like 40 lakhs for production areas and 20 lakh for the ones which are basically in the area of service, and if their amount exceeds this amount, their registration has to be done. In any case, it is compulsory if you go beyond 40 lakhs in terms of production and 20 lakhs in terms of your the area of service. And plus there is a variability as well in terms of the certain places, I would say, that will include the area of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, all those areas, they have the eligibility a little lower than the 40 and 20 lakh limit. So there are certain exceptional cases. I think what I'll do is I'll keep a separate class in which I'll talk about specifically all those things. Okay. So when we talk about the aggregate turnover can be stated that it is basically a turnover which will determine whether we are going for the particular registration or not. In this case, the correct answer is all of the above. Comes the area of zero rated supply. The zero rated supply includes by SEZ unit to SEZ unit, both A and B, or none of the above. SEZ is called special economic zones, the zones which are specifically working towards exporting goods to the outside of the country. So when these people are working in our country, and if we are charging taxes on them, ultimately they will export the goods. If they will export the goods, they are also exporting the taxes. But the rule of our country clearly states export the goods but not the taxes. So what will they do? What they will do is basically the zero rated supply, the supply that we are providing to these SEZs will not be chargeable to tax, so that the taxation is not carried forward outside India. So in this case, the correct answer is two SEZs in India. And definitely a very different question. Zero rated means this is considered as a supply, but there is no taxability that they will be considering in it. ठीक है ना? So that would be the question. Okay, so that is 2 SEZ unit in India. Next question. The next question says IGST deals with integrated goods and service tax. So there are three things that I can tell you about GST. Number one, we have IGST, that is there in terms of central tax. If we have state, we have CGST and GST. If we are making a sale between two separate states, there is possibility of questioning that which state should get the particular treasury now, so which should get the particular taxation amount. So they have to impose IGST, so everything goes to the center itself. There is no fight between the two states. But if there is within one particular state, then we use CGST plus SGST. That means 50% will go to the center and 50% will go to the state. Probably this became the reason that the states were really against the particular law of GST as well, because that broke the era of many state taxes being totally gone, and at the same time whatever they will receive in terms of GST, 50% of it would be shared with the central government. So again, this was not something which was favorable for them. So when we talk about IGST, IGST is what? It deals with the composition scheme, time of supply, service tax on imported goods, or all of the above. Basically na composition levy scheme is different. There is not something that we can talk about it here, but in terms of only the imported goods, we do not impose CGST and SGST. We impose exclusively the IGST on service tax on the imported goods there. Okay. Okay. Then what is it the GST is based upon? Is it based upon Aadhaar? Is it based upon passport, or it is based upon PAN, or none of the above? When we talk about GST registration, now GST registration is exclusively based upon PAN card, that is personal account number of a person, which is provided by the income tax department. This is basically provided by the income tax department. And at the same time, when we talk about PAN based can be stated in such a way, it is given by the income tax department. Plus there's one more point, PAN is basically an alphanumeric 10-digit number. Okay, it's a 10-digit number. It is PAN based. Next is GST compensation cess will be levied on supply of tobacco, pan masala, motor vehicle, or all of the above. GST compensation cess. Okay? This is the cess that is other than GST there. When we talk about the compensation cess, is it applicable on tobacco only, pan masala only, motor vehicles, or all of the above? GST compensation cess is right now applicable on all of the above. And if we talk about GST being levied on the motor vehicles, it is 28%. The highest slab of GST is exclusively given to these things. Okay, so that this makes our motor vehicles more costly, even that makes our ACs more costly, even in every luxury item is right now taxable under the slab of 28%. As such, the GST can max go up to 40%. Right now they haven't introduced the slab of 40%, thankfully. So then the GST applicability is still acceptable at the moment, right? So this is all about GST today. So I told you that today I'm going to talk more about GST area, and I think in the next class, even just let me know if this class turns out to be helpful for you. Then I'll prepare the next questions of GST as well. For that, what you need to do is just write in the comment section what part of the topic you would like to go ahead with, because ultimately now your input is definitely required when we talk about these topics. Okay, so if you want me to deal with it in detail, just let me know and we'll be talking about it in detail there. Okay. But before I proceed further, let me just show you where to go. This is our website www.adda247.com. So first of all, you have to go to our website, go into the area of JIB and CIB. There you will find JIB October 2023 and all the batches are given here. So kindly go ahead and check out all these batches, because ultimately these batches are going to help you a lot in terms of your studies. This is our English batch, and if you're looking forward towards this batch, you can use the code EID80. That is EID80. At this point of time, since Eid is going on, you can just apply this code and you'll get 81% off if you're using the app. You can get it for 3999.80. So kindly hurry up and check it out on our website or in our app for further details. And it is better that you go ahead with the app itself, because there things become easier. With a snap of a finger, you can open up your phone and then check it out, all the details in your phone there. So kindly go ahead and check it out. And if you're looking forward to it, even the Maha packs are currently having double validity. That means you will have to pay only for 1 year and you will get 2 years benefit, or in this case not only the JIB but also the CIB. Okay, so that is Eid 81% discount is there, 9089 in near about 10,000 rupees you're getting. First of all, you're getting 24 months. That means not even 600 rupees per month. Plus, at the same time, if I talk about this area, you're not getting only JIB but also CIB. Not only the syllabus but also the area of our, not only the syllabus portion but also the portion of our the numerical batches that we are coming up, the MCQ batches, revision batches, any other batch that would be coming after your batch. And not only in bilingual but also in English medium, both the areas, all the ebooks, every single class which had been held already or what would be held later on. That means after this particular, after you've taken the particular batch, that means everything is opened up for you. So I think it's way better that you look forward towards this batch and get it done at once only, because then you know one particular pack and then you get everything on Adda platform in terms of JIB and CIB preparation. Not even a single thing is required. Rather, we do not even recommend that you should go through the book, because all the things that we are preparing is exclusively from the book itself. Right? So if you're looking forward to it, then kindly go ahead and check it out on our website or in our app for